Hello there everybody, it is me XfreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So first of all, if you're watching this on the day it comes out, it is my channel's 8th anniversary on YouTube, so happy anniversary to me, I guess. I just want to take a second to say thank you to all of you for all of your support and encouragement over the years. It has really kept me going, and I don't think the channel would be where it is today if it wasn't for your guys' support. I also have an ongoing giveaway for Dream Home Decorator, so if you guys haven't joined that yet, go ahead and check out my construction site build. You can leave a comment and I will be choosing a random comment. That giveaway is ending pretty soon, so go ahead and drop by that video and leave a comment. The winner will be chosen randomly from the comments in that video. So anyway, this is part 2 of my Japanese high school speed builds for my Redesign Newcrest series, and in this part we're mainly going to be doing the furnishings for the ground floor, mostly offices. There's also a student council that we're going to be furnishing on the 3rd floor, and we're also going to be doing some preliminary landscaping as well, so you can look forward to that. But yeah, starting off, we have this little entrance area, which is basically like the genkan for this school. I don't really know. I know there's like an actual proper name for this area, but it's basically the genkan. This is where the students would leave their outdoor shoes and basically change into their indoor shoes. So I just made a little area for that. I did this in the first part actually, but I changed the rug configuration so that it would look a little bit more realistic. I wanted to make it in a way so that the students wouldn't have to step on the tile if they already changed their shoes. So that's that. And we also have a little display area over here for basically the school accomplishments. There's a lot of trophies and achievements that are on display, which is something that you would normally expect in schools. And yeah, I am really excited to finally get up this second part. I have been trying to do this recording for like the past couple of days now, but for some reason I just wasn't satisfied with all of the other recordings I've done. So yeah, hopefully this is gonna be the last one because I would really like to put this video up. Yes, I am a perfectionist. I don't really put up videos if I don't feel like I'm 100% happy with how it turned out, and that includes the voiceover actually. So yeah, this is the teacher's office, which honestly probably took half of the time it took me to do this, because it literally took me forever to do the teacher's office because it just had so much clutter, which I guess is more realistic because in Japanese high schools, I guess, they have really cluttered teacher's office. I feel like they need to give teachers more storage space because I just saw that they just had a lot of files and books and pretty much everything on their desks. So I kind of feel bad for the teachers to have to deal with that, but I just tried to make this place look realistic. So I'm glad that I managed to fit in quite a few desks. And here I'm also doing this little custom non-functional printer using the debug items as well as the tool mod. So basically I'm just trying to make a printer to make things look more realistic because I feel like this is one of those items that you just have to have in an office, and I'm really happy with how it came together. I feel like it made the place look more realistic even though it's not really functional. I just put together a bunch of items. That is a shelf right there from Dream Home Decorator, and I'm using this divider right here from Snowy Escape to make it look like a full, a proper printer basically. And this room also has a vending machine, which is from Get to Work, and I also put one of those basically like cork board, bulletin board things from Get to Work as well. I believe those are ones from the investigator career. I really love Get to Work. Can we talk about Get to Work for a second? I feel like I keep saying this in my videos, but I feel like Get to Work is one of the more underrated packs that we have, considering just how much content and gameplay it came with. I feel like it's so underrated because I've heard so many people say that that's like the only pack they don't have. Yeah, guys, you are missing out on Get to Work. Just the retail aspect alone is just so powerful that you just have to get it for the retail aspect, not even the active careers. even though active couriers themselves are also pretty good, I played through all of the active couriers actually, and I can say that they're probably one of the better couriers in Sims 4. Hopefully, Sims 5 would no longer have rabbit hole couriers, because I feel like this is one of the breakthroughs that they had with the Sims 4 that I feel like just really came through. And that's pretty rare for me to say for The Sims 4, because usually it's a lot of negative stuff, but I genuinely think that active courier is one of those core features of The Sims 4 that I think could really translate really well to The Sims 5. But here I am going through this whole basically cluttering aspect, and it took me forever, so we're gonna speed through this. I'm not gonna show you the whole cluttering process because that literally is going to take the whole length of the video if I don't edit it. So here you can see me basically just put some storage boxes. I used mostly the ones from Get to Work, even though I also used some from Dream Home Decorator, and those Dream Home Decorator boxes are so annoying because they kept snapping to the desks. Basically, the desk slots just snap onto those boxes, and it was really annoying. But I think they look good. I think it turned out really nice. Also, each desk, I tried to make it like for a specific teacher. So there's one for like the arts teacher, and there's another one for like the math teacher, and there's another one for like the PE coach and stuff like that. So, you know, I tried to not use the same items for all of the desks. I tried to give it a little bit more variety. But yeah, this is basically the teacher's office or faculty room. I don't know how they say it in Japanese, but basically teacher's office. And I'm really happy with how it came together. I did post a little preview on this on Twitter, and a lot of people seem to be really happy with it. So really glad that all of that effort paid off. Also, I think I can confidently say that at this point, this is going to be a 3-part series, unless something drastic happens, which is pretty unlikely at this point. But since this is the second to last part, if you have any suggestions still that you haven't left in the comments, go ahead and let me know so that I can incorporate it in the next part. I did get quite a few really good suggestions in the last video, so thank you so much to everyone who left some suggestions. I really think those are really helpful in helping me make this a lot more realistic. But yeah, we are done with the cluttering process, thankfully, so we're just adding in a couple of bookshelves and bulletin boards over here. I did use a mix of cork boards and like actual chalkboards. I say actual, but those are basically the chalkboards that we used in the last part, and that's basically just a grain custom painting that I used. It would have been nice if I had like one that had like actual writing on them, but yeah, it was actually really hard to get the sim to paint like a plain green painting, because whenever I made her paint, if you didn't know, you can make custom paintings. Basically, you make your sim paint in front of the thing that you want to paint, and you can paint from reference, and they will actually make it into a painting in the game. It's really interesting. But yeah, whenever I tried to make her paint on a green wall, for some reason, it would come out really like blotchy or like pixelated. It looked really weird. So it took me like 10 tries to get the final effect that I wanted, and that is the one that you see in this video. But moving on to the principal's office, this is a pretty small office, to be honest. I find it really ironic because we're gonna get to it eventually in this video, but the student council office is actually way bigger and, in my opinion, more luxurious than the principal's office. But yeah, this is the principal's office. Nothing too crazy, but I did try to make it look official by putting those 2 flagpoles on either side of the principal's desk. I believe the flagpoles are either from university or from Strangerville. I really couldn't tell now because we just have so many packs. It's starting to get confusing which item came with which pack, but you can probably see it in the video when I place them, because there's usually like an icon that tells you which pack each item came with. But yeah, I did get a little sidetrack here from the interior furnishing because I did do this exterior right in the middle of me furnishing the ground floor, and the reason for that is because at this point I was starting to put out the first speed build for this series basically, so I needed to furnish the exterior just to make it look nice for the screenshots and for the house tour. So this was kind of like an emergency type situation right here that I needed to do ASAP, because I think, yeah, this was about the time when I was putting out part 1, so I just had to do it. And usually in Japanese schools they do have a track, so I just put like a little sandy area, I guess, over here in front of the main building of the school. And over here we're working on the gate, which I mainly use debug items, but I also put like actual fences underneath of the debug items just so that the Sims wouldn't route onto the debug items, because that tends to look a little bit weird, you know, just Sims ghosting, walking over, you know, the fence when it's supposed to be a barrier. It's really weird. So to make it not look weird, I did put fences underneath them. I know that's a popular request for the series. I can't promise I can do it for all of the lots where I use the debug fences, but for this case I felt like I can, you know, go ahead and incorporate that because we had a lot of space actually in this build. I say that even though I'm already struggling for space in the main school itself. I feel like I'm gonna have to change one of the rooms. I did also furnish the kitchen for this build, which I think I'm probably going to edit out because I don't think I'm gonna have a space for a home economics classroom. So I think I'm gonna change the kitchen into a home ec room so that you can, you know, play out your Sims' cooking fantasies in school, I guess. But here is the track. Basically, I did some minor terrain editing over here just to give it a little bit more depth, and over here on the side I'm just putting these cypress trees to, you know, kind of like make the lot feel more integrated into the landscaping. And this is one thing that I love about the tool mod, is that it lets you take items out of lots, which is basically the main purpose, I believe, of the mod itself, because that's literally the name of the mod. Tool stands for take objects off lots. So yeah, I put those cypress trees outside of the lot, and I think that's something that I'm going to be doing after I've done all of the lots. Probably going to decorate the world with some, you know, decorations on the outside. I think I'm going to put like some decorative buildings and trees and all of that stuff, so you can look forward to that probably after we've done all of the lots, so that I can have a good idea on where everything is gonna go. And yeah, there's also a little flagpole over there. I actually don't know where Japanese schools have their flagpoles, because I don't think I've actually seen one in any of the anime or reference images that I've seen. So if there's a better place where I can put it, please let me know. But I feel like having it in the front kind of makes sense, you know, in front of the main field as well, because, you know, I feel like sometimes they do this in Japanese schools where they do the taizo thing, which is basically like, okay, so I believe taizo is martial arts in Japanese, but I think it's also like exercise or something, because I'm pretty sure you've already seen footages of this, of people just exercising at work or at school. I feel like they do that every day. Yeah, I feel like having that flag over there in the field kind of makes sense. Yeah, right now we're back into furnishing the interior, and here we are furnishing the library, which is basically the place where a lot of shoujo protagonists kind of bump into their romantic interests, and a lot of romantic stuff happens basically. So yeah, really nice room for that, but also really functional as well as a library. So I feel like if you change the lot type into a library, this could also work. It's not a significant part of the school, but I feel like this small space is okay. I would have liked it to be a little bit bigger, but you know, overall I think it turned out really nicely. I used mostly items from Dream Home Decorator because I really like the modern minimalist aesthetic. I feel like it's pretty true to the aesthetic of Japanese high schools, and of course I managed to fit in a couple of seating areas over here as well. I would have liked to have had a little bit more seating, maybe like a sofa or like something, but yeah, this it works. But yeah, right now we're actually furnishing the cafeteria, which is also another room that I don't see in anime often, because honestly most of the anime that I've seen, the high school students just eat in their classrooms. Most people just have bentos or lunch boxes, but I occasionally see them just buy stuff from the cafeteria. There's usually like a table where they have breads. So yeah, that's literally all I can think of whenever I think of cafeterias from anime. I think the only scene from an anime that takes place in a cafeteria that I can remember is that one scene from the very beginning of Aoharu Ride, which is probably one of my favorite romantic shoujo school life animes from the early 2010s. There's a cafeteria scene from the very beginning of that anime. There's also a movie of that actually, which I really enjoyed. And actually also there is a cafeteria scene from Beastars, but I don't think that's really a good reference because that anime kind of just has a very different aesthetic. You know, it has kind of like an almost Western modern aesthetic. By the way, speaking of Beastars, I do have a confession. I did actually watch Beastars dubbed in English on Netflix, and yeah, I've been watching a lot more anime dubbed in English recently just because they're so much more accessible. A lot of them are on Netflix, and probably by far one of my favorite anime this year is Skate Infinity, so let's talk about that for a second. Okay, so I've heard a lot of people say that 2021 is probably one of the best years of anime just because of the quality of the anime this year is insane. It's insanely good. We have things like Jujutsu Kaisen, but I feel like my favorite one would have to be Skate Infinity because I just absolutely love the show. It is so funny. It's totally up my alley because it's, you know, it's about skating, but there's so many like gay innuendos in that anime that I just love. It's basically like Yuri on Ice mixed with dramatical murder for me, and I absolutely loved it. I did watch it in English, which is probably going to be the controversial opinion in this episode, but I feel like watching it in Japanese just doesn't come through, especially a lot of the innuendos and a lot of the dialogue, because honestly, the dialogue on that show is gold. Whoever did the translations in English deserves an award for like best localization, because, you know, there's this thing where, you know, English dubs are generally considered to be bad or like not as good as the Japanese ones, but I don't know how the dialogue would come through in Japanese if you're not a fluent Japanese speakers. And I say this because I watched the show like 2 months ago, but I have recently seen a lot of compilations of the English dub, and it is hilarious. It makes me want to rewatch the series actually. If you haven't seen the Skate Infinity dub, go ahead and check it out. You will love it. And now we're actually furnishing the final room in this part. So this is the student council room, which is inspired by the student council room in Kaguya-sama Love is War. So this anime does have kind of like a Western aesthetic, so this room might look a little bit out of place compared to the rest of the school because it does have kind of like a more Western vibe to it, but like I said, it was inspired by Kaguya, so you know, I kind of had to go for that Western aesthetic. And yeah, I really loved it. I loved how this is way bigger than the principal's office, so that's a little bit of shade to whoever the principal is. The one thing I will say is that this room kind of has a weird floor plan, so I had to kind of be creative with the layout. Of course, I wasn't able to replicate the actual layout they had in Kaguya-sama, but I'm really happy with how the layout came together in this room actually. So I'm using these dividers from Moschino to basically have like some separation between the student council president's office and the rest of the space, just because I kind of felt like there needed to be some sort of separation for that, and I'm really happy with how this room turned out. Definitely my favorite room that we've furnished so far. There's also a little bulletin board, and I don't know why, but I just threw in like a little map in there as well, like a tactical map, so that whenever they're, you know, doing like their meetings and stuff, they can probably like map out some of their strategies and stuff. I don't know why, that sounds really military for some reason. Maybe not what you would expect for a student council room, so yeah, we'll see. I might change that. But yeah, this is the student council president's office area desk type thing. So yeah, Miyuki Shirogane is perfect for this, and the Sims that I actually made for this house tour is inspired by the characters, or like the main characters from Kaguya-sama. So Shirogane and Chika and Kaguya-sama will definitely be represented in this video at some point, so you can look forward to that as well. But other than that, I think that's going to be it for this build actually. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed my anime rants. I've been doing quite a lot of them recently, but I know a lot of you are also anime fans like me, so yeah, please let me know your opinions in the comments below. Love hearing from you guys, and that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.